I can read. Feel free to make a lot of comments and stuff, because although it says that there are 17 slides, most of them are just pictures by themselves.
Okay. Well, I still need to do the intro.
Rant about Stalin. Yuki, can you not use
intro.
Yuki is using my microphone
Stalin
as a scratching post. Give me a second. Yuki, please stop. Okay, go.
Hello. This is the Triad, where we're spooky but sensitive. I'm Hannah.
I'm Shannon.
I'm Shelby.
Oh, good lord. Okay, does anybody have any announcements?
The thing I told you right before. This. My work environment is falling apart. It's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty standard these days, unfortunately.
But I think I found the dress that I'm going to wear to my cousin's wedding, so...
That's fun.
Fun.
It's very pretty. I'll send you a picture.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I got hired as a sub, which is good. Then they couldn't do the paperwork this week, so I have to go next week, which I'm thinking might be a hint as to part of the reason why they don't have any subs. They only have one person who does all the paperwork for that. Obviously, like 99% of it is COVID, but I feel like 1% of it is because they only have one person doing all of this. And then the school district I got hired by just authorized a strike.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
even if I did do, my paperwork yesterday, wouldn't be working anyway. So,
Because Shannon ain't no scab.
nope.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anything else happen? I think that's it.
Oh, we're getting a nor'easter on Saturday.
Yeah.
I don't know. It keeps going between like a foot to 18 inches, so I'm not really sure what's happening.
I saw an article about it. I didn't read it because I already knew that it was happening because you'd mentioned it. But
Yeah.
doesn't look good.
Nope.
I should get more water and food and things.
Yep.
Should go groceries up.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cheese in my fridge I could live off,
I mean,
I
as
guess.
long as your heat is working again, then you
Yes.
at least won't die.
Yeah.
It is.
That's good.
You won't
That's
get hypothermia. So,
Yeah.
that's the number one.
Oh, the other one, it's not really an announcement. It's more of just a PSA about last week's episode. If it sounds like Shelby is not speaking in sync with the rest of us, it's because her computer was recording on a completely different time stream than Hannah and I were for some reason.
It made up its own seconds and minutes.
It did. There were some points where it would be out of sync, and then a second later, it would be back in sync. But I tried to fix it as best I could. But there were some parts where I simply could not fix it.
Yeah.
So we don't know what that
Shelby
is.
lives in the Twilight Zone. It's fine.
Yeah, we don't know what that is.
We tried to fix it. I say we. Shannon
gonna
played with
say,
my
who's
computer for like 2 hours yesterday. So hopefully it's better.
Yeah.
Go to the episode
We'll
folder.
find out.
Yeah.
Don't say it.
I'm not, but I know what this is. This is so exciting.
Yeah, that's why I had a rant about Stalin for like 20
yes.
minutes. That's what most of this is going to be. Just a history of the
I think so. Yeah.
the exiled Polish government and the Polish army during World War II.
Yay.
Nice.
I love this story.
Okay.
It's my favorite thing ever.
Me too. It makes me so happy. He's such a good boy. Okay. Anyway, not Stalin. So, today we're going to be talking about Wojtek, we're just gonna, I'm not even gonna say it for people who don't know. Let's keep going. All right, so my sources are Wikipedia. Oh, this one gives it away.
We'll reference it later.
Yeah, we'll just say that Wojtek has his own website.
He has his own website.
Time.com, BBC.com, and the Omnibus podcast. Sorry, I was fixing my slipper. It was falling off my foot. Okay, so let's talk about Polish military history for most of this.
Yay!
That's fine.
So, Poland in, like, the pre-World War II times had always been an area of contention, especially at the beginning of World War II. So, we all know that Germany annexed, aka invaded, Poland and allowed the Soviets to take half of it in the partition in the agreement of the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, so the Soviet-Nazi Pact. Basically, they just cut the country in half and were like, hey, you can have this half and we can have this half. Now let's not shoot at each other. So Stalin didn't really think that Poles should have their own country, and he really didn't think that they should also not be people or alive anymore. So he kind of wanted to do some concentration camp liquidation level shit with Poland. So he ended up sending, well, we'll get to that in a minute. Anyway, it's kind of like what he did with Ukraine. He just didn't want them to be there anymore. Or he wanted them to be so passive that they would just be good Soviets and do whatever he wanted. So
I will also say, Germany also did put Poles in concentration camps. Like, that did happen.
Totally.
Just
Auschwitz
not in the...
was
Not
first...
from the... I mean, most of the concentration camps were in Poland, because then Hitler could be like, well, it's not in Germany, so it's, like, not on us.
And it was
you know
more
what I mean?
convenient to kill the Poles that way.
Yes, and because it was more convenient to kill the Poles that way.
Yes,
So.
but we're specifically talking about the Soviet part because...
Yeah.
Because it matters later.
That's
yes,
the
you're right.
That's just the context that we're doing. I just wanted to acknowledge that before people are
Everyone's always hated the Poles. They're just...
Yeah. Oh my god, I had pierogi for dinner again.
Oh my god.
I didn't even know we were doing this. Sorry. But yeah, Poland has a not great history. Not through any fault of their own. Just
One time
other
when
countries.
I was doing research for my book, I don't know what my Google search was, but someone else's Google search was, what did Russia do to Poland? And it was
That's
just...
a very
That's a
long
loaded question.
answer.
That's a heavy
what
question.
did Russia not do to Poland?
Exactly.
Yeah, that would be easier to answer.
They didn't send Poland flowers. That's for sure.
They didn't leave Poland alone.
Yep.
All right.
Which again, to be fair, no one left Poland alone.
No, everyone has been so mean to Poland always. Even Poland has been mean to Poland because
That's
there
true.
was so
Poland
much...
has also been mean to
honestly.
Poland.
There was so much anti-Semitic shit that was happening, and it was like, can we just get along? I don't know. Anyway. So Poland has had it rough always.
Yes.
So Stalin began arresting and deporting Poles between February 1940 and June of 41, and it's estimated that between 309,000 and 312,000 Poles were deported to Siberia and parts of Kazakhstan during this time, and most of them ended up in work camps or prison camps, so gulags. They were in gulags. And Stalin, not only did he hate the Polish people, but he especially hated the Polish military because he was a paranoid motherfucker and just, like, couldn't
Yeah.
be threatened in any way.
Yeah.
So, between April and May of 1940, the Soviet secret police, the NKVD, executed nearly 22,000 Polish military officers and intelligentsia.
Jesus.
Yeah, so that was called the Katyn Massacre. And it was just a series of mass executions. Like, some of them, they would just go into, like, the barracks of these prisoners and just, like, machine gun them. And then put them in a pit. Like, that was it. So basically, the Polish army's officer class was completely decimated. It was gone. There were no more officers because Stalin was a piece of shit. So the reason why he did this was to partially try to pacify the Poles, just by making them so subservient that, like, oh, well, you know, if we don't behave, we'll either be gunned down or sent to a labor camp or we'll die in Siberia. So the Nazis then broke the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact in 1941. Yes. And invaded the rest of Poland. They were like, well, we're just gonna keep on moving through Europe. Thanks. Goodbye. So Poland was having a very bad time. Poor Poland. And Stalin was like, well, the Poles don't exist, therefore Poland doesn't exist, therefore there's no Polish government, so I don't have to deal with that anymore. But the Poles were like, yeah, actually we do still have a government, and I wrote you idiotic paranoid motherfucker, which I think I already said, but it's true. So the remaining government, like whatever was left of them, and then a lot of refugees fled to the UK and set up a government in exile, I think in London. I'm not really sure. I'm pretty sure it was in London.
Probably.
Doesn't matter. So there was still a Polish state, it just was in exile. And the remaining people in Poland were now, under... They're just having a bad time because there were Nazis everywhere.
Yeah.
Anyway. So additionally, some of the people who left in exile to England began to remake the Polish army. And some of them fought as soldiers and others were pilots. So despite all of Stalin's attempts to stop them, there was still a Poland and a Polish government effectively running itself in England. Okay, where are we? 11 minutes? Oh my god, that's like the majority of my shit. All right. Next slide.
Hannah, just because I am listening to you and you were talking so fast, not so fast, like, you just talk so much faster than me. And when Shannon was editing the episode the other day, she was like, you literally just paused in the middle of the sentence for 3 straight seconds.
Yeah, she
Apparently
does that.
I talk really slow, and I also pause for really long times in the middle of sentences, and I don't realize I'm doing it. But we were talking, and basically we came to the conclusion that, like, you don't think at all before you start talking.
Nope.
And I think way too damn much.
You think in the middle of a word.
Yeah, I do. Well, and like...
I have finished the thought and I've moved on to something else in my head.
Yeah.
Yes.
The thing is, Hannah,
We're
you
on, like,
also,
opposite ends of ADHD.
Hannah, you will make noises when you're thinking. You'll be like, or like da-da-da or something. Shelby just dies, like, mid-word.
My brain just, like, shuts down and is like, okay, time to reboot.
Do you guys know what
And
Toastmasters
talk
is?
again.
I do know what Toastmasters is, yes.
I was in Toastmasters in 7th grade.
Interesting.
And that was what I got in trouble for all the time because the teacher who ran it was, let's just say she was my least favorite teacher ever. And she also, it was at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Can you explain what Toastmasters is? Because Shelby said no, and I don't know if everyone knows what that is.
Is a weird ass club that you can be in.
Yeah.
Where you just practice giving speeches and like public speaking. It's very strange. I did it at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Giving a toast is what it means.
Yeah, like
giving a toast.
I was
like
do you just get
bread?
Together and like eat toast?
No, we don't toast bread. We like make toast. It's a really dumb name. They could have named it anything else. Anywho, I was in Toastmasters. I was the sergeant of arms. It was weird. It was at 5 o'clock in the morning at my Catholic school in Montana, so I never saw the sun when I did Toastmasters. None of those things are good.
None of those qualifiers sound appealing to me.
Yeah, and it was awful, but I always got in trouble because I always said and they had a bell like a bell on, like the one that you push at a hotel and it dings.
Yeah.
That kind of bell. So every time I said I would get a ding. And I was so bad at it because the ding would frighten me even further. And I would just continue to pause and lose my place and like so I just don't care anymore.
Yeah. I had someone...
Yeah, no, I just straight up stopped talking.
Yeah, no, that's what gave me crushing anxiety all through middle school and high school, because that started in 7th grade, and again, I didn't speak until sophomore year.
No, you did not.
Maybe junior year. I don't.
Yeah, you really didn't
talked
talk
a little bit in sophomore year. I was like, yes, I'll sit with you. And now I won't shut up.
Yep. Oh, I was gonna say something.
Shannon, you were saying something.
I know, and then you interrupted me, and I can't remember what it was.
Listen, the thing is, if I don't get the thought out, it's never coming out. Like, you have the capability to remember. See, I would never have gotten it back.
So when I did that intercession class last year where we like pretended to be attorneys for a whole week and it was awful, we did like fake client meetings with actual attorneys, like practicing attorneys, and one of them mentioned, like, you really shouldn't say and I'm like, I'm not going to be a lawyer, so you can keep that opinion to yourself.
That's what I think about that.
No, qualifier words are fine. They help you think. I have no problem with
They
that.
do.
And it's
They're
kind of
called- yeah,
ableist
they're
to
called
expect
filler
people.
words, and it's-
yeah, filler words.
who
Thank you.
gives a
And it's
fuck?
kind of ableist to expect people not to use them all the time.
Really, it
Literally,
is.
in
So-
other cultures, they have specific words. Like, ours is kind of more of a sound in, like, American English, as opposed to, like, I mean, I guess you could call a word, but for the most part, but, like, other languages have, like, an actual, like, multiple syllable word that is literally just a thinking sound.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's really fucking ableist.
Yeah. Anyway, keep saying your ums. Keep dying in the middle of words. The only reason I notice is because I edit the podcast, and so it's, like, really noticeable.
I know.
Well,
I will
see,
say
like-
sometimes I think that Shelby cuts out and then she comes back.
No, I know. Well, and then I told her, too, I was like, dude, the reason it seems like I interrupt you so much when we are having just normal conversations is that I think you're done talking, and you're not. You just are not done with your sentence. You just added in literally 3 seconds of nothing before you continued on to
Pure
finish
Should we
your
sit in
sentence.
silence for 3 seconds? Ready, set, go. That's 3 seconds.
I know.
That's so damn long.
Talking.
See, and I am sitting here and I'm like, oh, that was nice.
No, that is how long you, on average, stop in the middle of your words.
Yeah, I know. It's fine. Okay. I'm just trash.
You're not trash. It's just funny.
Yeah.
If I don't say
no.
all the
That's
words at
why,
once, I will forget
like,
all the words
I
at once.
only
Yeah.
brought it up because I was so fucking frustrated with the episode. For one thing, like when because it was this most recent episode that I was editing, that she was in a random
And,
time
yeah,
stream.
It was,
and I just
it was
said-
really fucking annoying for her to edit
I-
that one. And yeah.
I predicated it by saying, I'm not saying this to be mean to you or as an insult, but editing your
I
episodes takes
100%
longer.
am like not offended at all.
No, I know. No, because like I have to editing hers takes longer because I have to cut those silences out. Because otherwise it sounds like she just dropped out in the middle of her sentence. So I cut a lot of those out. And so it just takes longer. Plus it just takes longer because you speak more slowly.
I lived in the South too long.
It
It's
was
fine.
just that episode was so frustrating to edit.
But yeah, moral of the story is Shelby talks too slow. Sorry, not sorry, y'all.
No, and like your brain dies, which that's the thing. That's why I never mentioned it. I know it's because your brain dies in the middle of a sentence, and like, what am I gonna? There's no point for me to tell you that, like,
Right.
You know, but
It's literally like the blue circle of death is going on in my head.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, and we're reloading. Okay.
oh man. Okay, well,
Anyway,
we went
back
on a
to the
tangent.
topic.
Yeah, thanks. That ate up 2 whole minutes.
Yep.
I've been watching.
Well, no, Shelby was talking, so it's probably closer to 5.
No, I counted. It's only 2. Where were we? Oh, yeah. Russia was... Not Russia. Stalin was being a dick. So, then things got a little bit awkward between everybody because the Nazis broke the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact. And so the USSR and the UK were suddenly allies against Germany. And so since the exiled Polish government was also an ally with the Allies, Stalin now had to answer for some really awkward atrocities.
Yeah.
So thus began this deal between Stalin and the Polish government for amnesty of exiled Poles in Siberia and the gulags, in order for them to reform the army. So the point of this was to get them to reform the army and then fight on the Russian front with the Russians.
Okay.
So 765,000 Poles signed up for amnesty in 1940. Those were the people who were deported, and like the families and stuff. Many were granted their freedom from labor camps at this time, but of course, since Stalin is a fucking loser, he kept a lot of the able-bodied Poles, including women and children, and kept them in the gulags to run his Soviet industrial machine. See my forthcoming novel.
Yes.
So the army that was to form from the released prisoners, I already said that, was to fight alongside the Russians against Germany. But as you may have guessed, the freshly released prisoners of war weren't all that fucking fond of fighting with the Russians, their former slave drivers. And
I was going to ask that.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't remember. I know very little about World War II outside of the German government and the Holocaust. So, and I'm sure you've said this before, but was it the military running the gulags?
No, it was the NKVD, which is the secret police.
Well, because that was my whole thing. So I was like, if it was the military, like, they're literally fighting alongside, like, the literal people who used to keep them in the gulags.
I mean, some of them, it depends on where they were. Some of them did have soldiers assigned to them. Okay. If it was, like, if they were making, like, munitions or whatever. But typically it was just NKVD. And not only was it NKVD who ran the gulags, it was the shittiest NKVD officers they had because no one wanted to work at the gulags, so they always sent, like, the fuck-ups and the dicks out there who they were like, well, we don't want you in Moscow, so you can just go out to the country and, you know, beat people to death because whatever, we're not gonna keep track of you.
Yeah, Germany did that sometimes, too.
Yeah.
That wasn't, like, the rule, you know, but...
No, I mean...
Yeah.
This was kind of the rule. They just... Yeah. they were a bunch of fuck-ups. I mean, they would sometimes send... They would send bosses out there who were, like, they were, like, civilians who worked for the NKVD, so they would be, like, some kind of engineer who would, like, run the camp and, like, make sure that they were doing everything. Like, if it was, like, a transport station, they would make sure that the trains ran and, like, they'd make sure that all the buildings could produce enough bread, whatever. But the people who ran, like, the actual punishment sectors, I guess, were the NKVD.
Okay, cool. Not cool, but
which,
thank you.
Just so everyone knows, is the predecessor to the KGB.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I know everyone's more familiar with the KGB.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Any more questions about the Soviet state?
Not at this moment in time, but I'm sure I'll come up with one later.
Cool. I will answer as best as I can.
One of my strengths is coming up with very weird academic questions, so...
I sometimes have the answer, but not always.
Yeah. It's what lawyer brain is like, must think of every question possible to fully understand the problem.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's fun in here. Okay.
So Shannon has, like, a Google search engine in her brain. I have, like, a monkey with symbols, and Shelby has the blue screen of death.
Yes.
Cool. Love it.
I really do. That's a very good I literally have a Google search running at all times in my head.
She does. Literally, like, we'll be sitting, like, watching just, I don't know, like, BuzzFeed Unsolved or something, and they'll say some offhand comment, and she'll be like, oh, I wonder what that's about. And then, like, 5 minutes later, she's like, I have to look it up. It's bothering me.
Yep.
That's all Thomas and I do when we watch movies, is look up this, that, and the other thing.
Mm-hmm.
I look up, like, wait a minute, that's not accurate.
Yeah. No, I look up literally everything all the time, because that's just what I do.
Yeah.
And also I don't know any actors ever, so I always have to look up people because I just don't know.
I look up IMDB all the fucking time.
I do not like IMDB anymore because the website does not... It's not searchable, and I don't like that.
I know. They, like, changed the website, and it's, like, not good anymore.
Not good.
Oh, God. Our podcast hosting site updated, too.
Oh, my God. It's so bad.
I've been fighting with it for 3 days. I hate it. Ugh, that's a completely separate rant that we're not going to go on right now. But...
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, the Poles were like, fuck no, we're not fighting with you. We hate you.
Yes.
So it was eventually agreed that the Poles could leave Russia through Iran and Iraq and then get to British-controlled Palestine. And before we get a comment on YouTube, at this time, it was Palestine.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. That's all I'm going to say. So,
in reference to that, is this area geographically now Israel?
Probably.
Okay.
I honestly didn't look it up, but I'm sure someone will have something to say about it.
Okay. Yeah.
But right now, it's British-controlled Palestine, so everyone keep your pants on.
Yeah.
So there they would form what would later become known as Anders' Army, Quote, Anders' army was the informal yet common name of the Polish armed forces in the East in the 1941 through 42 period, in recognition of its commander... Oh shit, hold on. Władysław Anders. The army was created in the Soviet Union, but in March 1942, based on an understanding between the British, Polish, and Soviets, it was evacuated from the Soviet Union and made its way through Iran to Palestine. There it passed under British command and provided the bulk of the units for the troops of the Polish II Corps, the members of the Polish armed forces in the West, which fought in the Italian campaign. Anders' army is notable for having been primarily composed of liberated POWs and for Wotjek, a bear who had an honorary membership. This army had a motherfucking bear.
I love him.
Okay.
He's such a good boy.
Also, I never knew how to say
Wojtek.
the name of the bear. Yeah.
Yeah, Wojtek.
That's why I had to
Polish.
pause and look at Władysław's name, because V's make a W sound and then the L with a line
I
through
knew
it
that, but...
W's make a V sound and the line with the L... Oh my god, the L with
a line
the line through it makes a W sound. So I had to pause because in there are the two sounds that are backwards.
Yeah.
And it was hard to look at. Anyway. So let's talk about Wojtek.
Yay!
He's such a good boy.
Yay.
I wish I could go back in time and kiss him on his little nose. Okay. So on April 8th, 1942, Anders' army and thousands of Polish refugees were at a train station in Iran waiting to continue their journey to Palestine. One of the refugees, 18-year-old Irina Boykowicz, found a little boy who had in his possession a bear cub. The bear's mother had presumably been shot by hunters. So Irina urged Lieutenant Anatol Tarovaisky to buy the young Syrian brown bear. And he did. And the bear cub spent the next 3 months in a Polish refugee camp near Tehran in Irina's care. So they named the bear Wojtek, which means happy warrior in Polish. It's like a diminutive of another name of Wojciech. Yeah, Wojciech.
Sure.
It is. Wojciech. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Wojtek is the diminutive of Wojciech. Okay. So, here's a quote from Wojciech Narebski. Wait. Narebski. Yeah. I can read. He was a 17-year-old soldier at the time and later became a close friend with Wojtek, partially because they shared the same first name, which is very cute. Quote, he was like a child, a small dog. He was given condensed milk from a vodka bottle like a baby. So therefore he felt that these soldiers are nearly his parents, and therefore he trusted us and was very friendly.
Okay, one. A small dog?
well they got him when he was a baby.
I know, but still a bear cub is pretty big.
No, I'm gonna show you. He was very little when they got him.
Okay.
This isn't him when he's a baby. This is him in like his teenage years.
Okay, then also
I love that they gave him milk from a vodka bottle.
Yeah, because he was just a little baby.
But a vodka bottle.
Second thing.
Slavic thing.
Okay, I put that in there. The things in the things in brackets I put in there because I read them in other places.
Yes,
so I wanted it to be complete. I wanted you to see the whole picture. They did give him milk from a bottle. It was condensed milk, and it wasn't a vodka bottle. But
I love it.
That's beside the point.
I just love it. It's so Slavic.
It is.
My other thing. Why did this child have a bear cub?
He said that the sources that I found said that he had quote unquote found it, like the hunters had killed the mother and he just like found the baby bear and was like, I'm gonna sell it. And then, you know, wandered up to these thousands of Polish refugees and was like, anybody want a bear? And they were like, yes, we love bears. Clearly, we want a bear.
Okay.
Quote, Wojtek initially had problems swallowing and was fed condensed milk from an old vodka bottle. He was subsequently given fruit, marmalade, honey, and syrup, and was often rewarded with beer, which became his favorite drink. He later enjoyed smoking or eating cigarettes, as well as drinking coffee in the mornings. He would also sleep with the other soldiers if they were ever cold in the night. He enjoyed wrestling with the soldiers and was taught to salute when greeted. He became an attraction for the soldiers and civilians alike, and soon became an unofficial mascot to all the units stationed nearby. With the 22nd Company, he moved to Iraq, then through Syria, Palestine, and Egypt. So, he was eventually adopted into the 22nd Artillery Supply Company of the Polish II Corps, and Narebski. God, I'm so dyslexic. It's sad. Narebski said, quote, he really was feeling like a member of our small military family.
Such a good boy.
He was such a good baby. Okay, now we're just going to look at pictures of him for a minute because I don't have a lot of information left.
That's fine.
I love him. Oh, look at how little.
See, he was little. Here's somebody riding him. So in the meantime, I'll talk about Syrian brown bears, I guess. So Syrian brown bears aren't like American brown bears, which are huge. They're more the size of like American black bears, and they're friendlier, like how black bears are friendlier, you know. Because like when you think of a brown bear, you think of like a grizzly bear, which is terrifying.
That's just what I think of when I think of a bear, is a grizzly bear. Unless it is specified that it is some other kind of bear. I think of a grizzly bear.
He's not nearly as big as a grizzly bear, but he's more like black bear size.
His proportions look more like a black bear too.
Yeah. But he's brown in color because that's his species.
Yeah.
Isn't he so cute? You can go through
I
all
guess
these
I should
pictures.
say like
There's
an
like a bunch of
American
pictures.
black bear is like how he is proportioned. He's adorable.
He's such a good boy.
Look at his little sharp teeth.
I like
his claws.
number 12, where he's just
12.
lined up in rank with everybody. Yeah,
he's with all the soldiers. He's like, I'm one of you.
Yes, so stop there.
Yeah,
because
he actually is. Like, he's only like a head taller than them.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's like a foot taller than the soldiers.
Yeah, and these guys were all prisoners of war and like probably went there as like teenagers and starved and weren't growing right, and I don't know, he's probably like, I don't know how tall he is. I guess I could have looked it up.
I love this one of him. He's just like hunkered down in this little
in the foxhole.
Yeah, I the foxhole with the guys. Yeah,
Syrian brown bears tend to be 40 to 55 inches tall from nose to tail. So standing though,
standing.
I know, I'm looking. Hang on.
Also, I love that they basically just like fed him like one of the other soldiers. They're like, we're drinking coffee. Have some coffee.
We did get double rations, just so everybody knows.
Brown bears generally can be between 6 to 9 feet.
He was probably like 7 feet.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. So Wotjek wasn't just a sideshow attraction. We're back in it now, everybody.
Yeah.
So Anders' army was reassigned to fight in the Italian campaign with the British 8th Army. And as the armies were boarding a British transport ship, they told the Polish army that no mascots or pet animals were allowed on board. And I think that the Poles at that point, as all decent people, said, fuck the British, allies or not. And the Polish II Corps drafted Wotjek right there into the Polish army as a private. He was... So the Wikipedia article that I just read, that quote from, said that he was like an honorary member. He was not an honorary member of the Polish army. He was a private in the Polish army. So they listed him among the other soldiers in the 22nd Artillery Supply Command. That was his post. He received his own pay book. He had a rank and he had a serial number, just like every other soldier. He slept in a tent or sometimes a wooden crate and followed the company everywhere. He was a real for real soldier in the Polish army. All right. Next slide. Quote, during the Battle of Monte Cassino, Wotjek helped his unit convey ammunitions by carrying 100-pound crates of 25-pound artillery shells, never dropping any of them. While this story generated controversy over its accuracy, at least one account exists of a British soldier recalling seeing a bear carrying crates of ammo. The bear mimicked the soldiers. When he saw the men lifting crates, he copied. Wotjek carried boxes that normally required 4 men, which he would stack onto the truck of other ammunition boxes. This service at Monte Cassino earned him the promotion rank of corporal. In recognition of Wotjek's popularity, a depiction of the bear carrying an artillery shell was adopted as the official emblem of the 22nd Company. So, he was such a good boy in the battle that he was doing what everyone else, because he copied them all the time. He learned how to salute for them. He learned how to line up in ranks. Like, you saw the picture of him in ranks. Mm-hmm. He really loved these soldiers, and he really thought of himself as human, I think. He didn't think he was a bear. He thought he was just one of the boys. He
just thinks he's one of them.
Yeah, so he...
This my family.
Yeah, so he did. They said that in some battles or in some places they would put like empty shells or empty boxes on his back so it looked like he was carrying a lot of stuff. But for the Battle of Monte Cassino, he was actually like carrying boxes and loading them onto a truck because he's a good boy. But they would put him out on the battlefield with these like artillery shells strapped to him, and people were like, holy shit, they have an artillery bear, and that kind of it made like the Allies like super pumped and jazzed, and they're like, yeah, that's our bear. And then the Nazis were like, fuck, they have a bear. So yeah, so there's the emblem, and you can see it on the truck too that he's in. Okay,
I love it.
so there's a movie called Wotjek the Bear Who Went to War, directed by Will Hood. And Hood said, quote, we're on the next slide. Quote, it's possible to make an analogy with Wotjek's story and the story of the Polish people in a way which touches the politics of the Second World War, which is far more personable and humanistic story, which is, of course, ironic as we're talking about a bear. The fact... oh my god, sorry. Excuse me. The fact that he himself thought he was human, so the legend has it, I think it asks some very... Oh, come on, Windows. It just popped up right in front of my line. I think it asks some very interesting questions about what it is to be human. In one interview, this is the end of the quote, but still quoting from that article. In one interview, a British veteran tells how he was taken aback one day to see... Oh, he is 6 feet. Look, haha. To see the 1.82 meter, 6-foot bear carrying shells during the Battle of Monte Cassino in Italy. The company emblem picture became a... What? The company emblem became a picture of Wotjek carrying a shell. Oh my god, I can't read. Mr. Narebsky... I said it right. Okay. Said...
You did, for once.
I'm going to start that over, Shannon. Will you cut out the part where I was stupid?
Yes.
Okay. So the whole thing, just scrap it. Mr. Narebsky.
And now we're leaving it all in.
Okay. No. Fine. Mr. Narebsky said that on one summer's day, when they were driving along Italy's Adriatic coast near Ancona. Yep. Wotjek spotted the sea. Quote, he jumped out and went to the beach, and on the beach there were many Italian girls taking a bath. You can imagine what happened. I said, girls, don't be afraid. This bear is good.
Oh my god.
I just love that so much.
It's not as reassuring as you think it is, buddy. It's a fucking bear.
Some Polish man yelling at you, don't worry, bear is good.
And where was this at?
It was in Italy.
So did they even understand him?
I don't know, maybe he knew Italian.
imagine you're just like by a river,
You're like,
minding your
"I'm
own business,
so-"
and all of a sudden some man and a bear come towards you, and the guy starts yelling at you in a language you
Polish.
don't understand in Polish, which is like every like German Russian sounds so guttural and like they're
Scary.
like cursing you if
Yeah.
you don't know it.
Just some girl who's
And-
like, I'm so sick of fascism. I just want it to be done. I'm just here on the beach. Enjoy. Oh my god, it's a fucking bear. Oh my god, I don't know what that man is saying. Just shoot me. It's over. It's fine.
Like, I don't know, that's kind of on par with I'm on meth.
This bear is good.
Oh, man.
Do not fear, bear is good.
He was such a good boy.
He was.
Man.
He didn't think he was a bear. He thought he was a person. He was just like, hey, some
There was,
ladies.
There was this thing on Twitter a while ago, and it like pops up again every now and then, and it popped up again like a month ago or so. And it was like some warning from the National Wildlife Service, like, hey, don't pet bears. And the quote tweet, which I've seen at other places, is, if not friend, why friend-shaped? And that's just what I keep thinking.
It's so true. If not friend, why friendship?
Friend-shaped.
It's the ears. It's the little baby ears. Look, I can.
Also, like, we grow up with teddy bears. Like,
Mhm.
We
Which
can
is-
overlook the knives on their
Because of-
feet, but they have little baby bumblebee ears. What else am I supposed to do but pet them?
right? Like, what did you expect?
If anyone approaches a bear based on what y'all are saying,
Don't approach
No one
bears,
will,
y'all.
but
Also,
don't
just
approach
don't
bear.
approach, like, wild
don't
animals.
approach wild animals.
Listen, I get pissed off when people feed
Look at their
chipmunks, so like,
cuteness. Yeah, look at their cuteness from afar and back away slowly.
Also, if you're in fucking Yellowstone, don't go up to a fucking buffalo. I will literally hunt you down and throat punch
first
you.
of all, it's a bison. Second of all, yeah, no, don't do it.
Aren't
I
They're
buffalo
really
and bison the
dangerous.
same thing? It's
It
just
No.
depends on where you are in the
Yeah.
world.
They
Okay.
are not the
Some
same
are,
thing.
some are not.
All right, back to the war. After the war, sorry. Okay,
I'm
after the
gonna
war,
annoy my
many of
sister right now with really stupid questions. Don't mind me.
what?
what?
Sorry, I'm gonna ask my sister to explain the difference between buffalo and bison so that
I
I can read
Googled
it
it.
off
I
to you
just-
guys.
I googled it.
Yeah,
I
but
just
my
didn't
sister
feel
works
like
with them,
going
and I
into
like
it.
to annoy her.
Okay.
Yeah, Google's fun and all, but annoying my sister is more fun.
But have you tried upsetting your older sister?
It's the best.
Shannon and I don't have that luxury.
No, we're on the opposite end of that.
Oh my god, I know. If
I'm
I
the
get one more
baby.
email, if I get one more text from my sister, like, can you look at my resume? No, I can't. I'm
Okay.
done.
So one of Allie's classes,
Shannon
it's,
does Allie's homework every
yeah,
week.
it's education research, right? It's literally, which to be fair, the assignments are stupid. But she flat out was just like, just expect to be helping me with these. And I'm like, thanks for asking.
Yeah, it's the expecting part that I don't like. I'll
She
help
does
you
ask.
if you ask.
It's just,
No, some of my sisters don't ask. They just
Yeah.
expect. They like roll into my slide into my DMs and are like, "Hey, look at my resume." And I'm like, "No, you didn't ask."
yeah. No, but her last assignment it was a stupid assignment. She had to create a rubric for how to like evaluate sources, but then the rubric that her teacher gave her to like that she was going to be graded on was a really bad rubric. So I was like, I don't trust your teacher to grade this correctly because the one that she made was shit.
I already have one of those if she wants it.
Well, that's the thing. I Googled it and I found one. And I'm like, why do you need to make one? Who is going to make their own rubric when they can just Google it and find one?
Well,
that's
not
a
even
stupid
just like steal
assignment.
it. Like the what teachers do is like you take it and then you like twist it into your own thing.
Yeah.
No one has ever
she's
made an
going to be
independent
a
thought.
physical education teacher. She's not going to need this.
Yeah,
She
can
needs
you
no
can you
rubrics.
cite your sources for your jumping jacks, please?
Yeah. But then, what's...
I learned this particular educational physical move from Richard Simmons.
Yeah. What was the one? Oh, yeah. she texted me this, and I was like, I don't even know how to do this. She has to come up with a problem statement for a research proposal and then write a paper on the statement. And then I said, what is a problem statement? And she said, I have no idea. And I was like, cool.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Is that a hypothesis? Is that a question presented? Like, what is that? What the fuck is a problem statement?
A problem statement.
Exactly. And then she gave me her Canvas login so that I can look at it and try to tell her what it is.
But really quick, back to Shelby. That is the second time Richard Simmons has come up in conversation this week for me.
Nice. Same for me.
I was gonna say, didn't we somehow talk about Richard Simmons?
We were talking about him yesterday.
Yeah, you sent me a tweet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was someone's like interaction with Richard Simmons on an airplane, and I sent it to Shannon, and I was like, I feel like Richard Simmons is the like cryptid of celebrities. Like, he's the Susan of celebrities.
Did we talk about how Susan sold her van?
Oh my god.
Oh my god, no,
oh
we
my
didn't.
God.
Oh my god, I have to find it so we can read out the actual...
Yes. Okay, so
oh my god.
I wish we were still doing
the
mini
worst tangent ever, but
it's fine. It's fine. Hang on, I got it. I sent it to my mom.
Susan Stone, aka the Dance of Life dancer from our hometown, is a crazy person, and
we say that in the most endearing way possible.
It's
oh yeah,
yes.
Well, maybe not Hannah.
Yeah,
well, Hannah's life was threatened.
She went to jail because of things she did to me and my people. So the Dance of Life dancer has been in trouble with the law for a while now.
Various reasons.
For various reasons, including, but not limited to, slashing tires at my dance studio. And also illegally filming us while we were dancing.
Yes.
Drunk and disorderly
also, this person,
contact.
you know what, never mind. So she comes to different events uninvited and performs what can only be described as interpretive dance at each of them. So imagine you're at like a September 11th war memorial, and
which is where she has shown up.
And what's that called? What's that song? Proud to be an American comes on. And she starts dancing to it
every time.
That's what happens. So anyway, she also drives this hot pink van, which she has almost killed me in once. Do you guys remember that?
No.
Yes.
Because
she like tried to run you off the road.
No, I was going straight through an intersection.
Or wait, no, I saw her run off the road. That's what happened.
Yeah, I was going straight through an intersection, and she made a left turn on a red and almost hit me.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I've been like driving behind her before, and she just like full speed, like 70 miles per hour, swerved onto the shoulder, came to a full stop. I passed, and then she like slowly crept back onto the road.
That's weird.
And I was like, what the fuck is happening?
Okay,
so anyway,
we need to get into the actual thing, because this is already...
Let's talk about the van. It's hot pink.
Okay.
Can someone please read the words on it?
Yes, I am going to do it. First of all, this is in complete all caps, zero punctuation,
Hold on,
except
we have to explain what you're doing.
Wait a minute,
so
stop.
Wait, both of you stop.
No.
On the van, it says Dance of Life Dancer, and she was selling the van, and it ended up on Facebook. We didn't actually explain what we were going to be reading.
Oh, yeah.
Also, we will be putting this in the Instagram post.
Yes, because it doesn't have any identifying information on it at all.
No.
Okay, so... I also have it pulled up. Who do we want to read this?
I'll read it.
Okay.
I can't read.
Okay.
It is in all caps. And if you could let us know when there is punctuation, that would be fantastic.
Yes, I will just say comma. I will not actually pause, as we have demonstrated. My pauses are too long. Okay. For sale, one haunted van owned by Dance of Life dancer, 3 years, $800, 2004 Buick Rendezvous, haunted by two spirits, comma, runs okay, gas gauge, stays full, never runs out, and has spirit of one Gwendolyn, comma, doors sometime open and close without assistance, comma, comes with one dancer ghost rider, comma, often runs without gas and sometimes moves without a driver, comma, Dance of Life owned, oh yes, the most important thing, has the spirit of one Mr. Grimm inside it, so you might often see Mr. Grimm in the passenger seat next to Gwendolyn. You must see this famous van. You come pick up owner not responsible for extra unwanted spooks and ghosts and spirits that come with van.
Is there a period at the end?
No.
Oh. It just continues. Susan is somewhere screaming, continuing the sale. So let's break this down a little bit.
All of that in one breath. I had to take a breath towards the end there, but
yeah, because that's all one sentence.
Also the like wheels on it.
Hold on.
Not the tires, but the wheels are like neon green.
Wait.
Someone bought the van.
Oh my god.
I hope it's someone we know.
It says, also, I looked her up on Facebook. I will read the post where she announced 4 days ago that the van was sold. This is again in all caps. Dance of Life, old pink van was sold around 1 p.m. Saturday, comma. So please stop sending requests. The haunted ghost-filled van is gone, comma. The new owner drove off with it around 2:20 p.m. They say they're going to fix it and repaint it blue.
No! Oh my god.
And then,
I literally had multiple different group chats going where we were trying to figure out like how much it would cost per person for us to pool our money and buy this van.
Oh my god. Okay, we need to get back to like the actual topic because this was a tangent and a half.
I love it though.
I know, but that was a lot of a tangent.
Last but not least, it looks like in these pictures that they had to jump it to get it out of her trailer.
Yeah, the battery was dead, apparently.
Fair.
Nice.
According to one of the Facebook posts, the battery was dead. So,
back to our friend-shaped bear. Okay, so
it's gonna be so hard to edit.
Yes.
So, after the war, many of Wojtek's brothers in arms didn't want him sent back to Poland. They were really afraid that the Soviets would use him as a symbol of communism and propaganda because he had, like, you know, helped crush the Nazis and wow, we're so strong. We're strong like bear. So they made the heartbreaking decision to send him to the Edinburgh Zoo in Scotland. This would be his retirement and he could live there. You know, he retired as a corporal.
Pretty good.
And his reputation as a Polish war hero wouldn't be tarnished or twisted by the Soviets. So, this is from the BBC article. Mr. Narebsky last saw Wojtek in Italy before the Battle of Bologna. Is that how you say that?
I have no idea.
Bologna. I think it is.
I think so.
In April 1945. It's not Bologna.
It's not Bologna, I know that. But
I think it's Bologna.
I think so.
P-O-L-O-G-N-A. That's one word I can spell because thank you, Oscar Mayer theme song. All right. Sorry.
Yes.
Like I said, it's just like little monkeys clicking in my head and they're like, a thing, another thing, a song. You know that song. You can spell it. That's it. Yeah, I can't deal with it. After the war, his company was... Oh, sorry. Got confused by that word. This is still part of the quote. Quote, after the war, his company was demobbed in Berkshire, Scotland, while Wojtek was taken to live at the Edinburgh Zoo, where some of the ex-troops would visit him. Narebsky spent time in Yorkshire before returning to Poland. It was difficult for him to correspond with his former comrades who stayed in Scotland because of the restrictions in Poland, but he never forgot Wojtek. Quote, the communist authorities in Poland wanted to take him to the zoo in Poland, but my colleagues who were staying in Scotland were against this. It was very pleasant for me to think about him. I felt that he was my older brother, Narebsky says. However, he did hear about Wojtek's death in 1963. It was very sorrowful news, he said. Oh, I didn't talk about it. Wojtek, I think, was 21 years old when he died. Does that math make sense?
Yeah.
Shoot, I forgot
Roughly.
to write it down. But he died at the Edinburgh Zoo. They think from complications due to swallowing cigarettes.
I mean...
But he seemed to like them. I don't know.
I just Googled it, and Syrian brown bears live on average between 20 to 30 years in the wild, so...
Okay, yeah, so he died a little young for being a, like, cared for bear. But he also was in war.
The wild bears, the wild bears probably aren't ingesting cigarettes on a regular basis. Like,
That's
I feel
true,
like
and they also didn't go to war.
Or coffee.
Yeah.
And I feel like it was highly stressful for a bear to go to war.
Probably.
I mean, maybe.
Probably, yeah.
Anyway, so today Wojtek is remembered around the world. There's a preschool in Poland named after him. I know, right? That made me cry a little bit. There are at least 7 monuments in Poland dedicated to him, and 4 in England, or 4 in the UK, dedicated to the heroic bear that was both a symbol of Poland and a gentle giant to the soldiers in Anders' army. So that is the story of Wojtek, and he is such a good boy.
Precious. When we go on our backpacking trip around Europe, we should go to some of his monuments. Our backpacking trip around Europe.
When are we doing this?
Never.
I was going to say, I'll go with you, but I'm not sure that Shannon would do that.
No.
Also, we are not backpacking because, no.
Do you mean renting a car and
I do not have
driving?
the bodies for that. By backpacking, I mean like taking transportation and staying
renting
in fancy
a car.
bougie
You mean
hotels.
renting a car?
Yes.
Well, I'll take
And
pictures
staying
of
in
it.
bed and breakfast.
My mom and I are supposedly going to Poland someday.
Yes. Go to his monument and
I
take
would love
pictures.
to. I like this one because it's him with a soldier.
Yeah.
There's one of
Yeah.
him holding a big artillery shell, and he's just like, I'm a bear.
I love it.
But
Oh, man.
anyway, that is the story of the goodest boy.
Yay! Thank you. That was,
Yes.
yeah. Yeah, it was, earlier she asked us if we wanted, hang on.
Well,
Okay, I'm just going to read the actual messages. How are we feeling today? Can I do a weird/bad ending animal story or a weird/not bad ending animal story? And then about 10 minutes later, JK, it'll be happy. And so
I
then
just
later...
figured you guys didn't want to hear that.
Yeah. And so then, a few hours later, I said, Huna, what time are we thinking for, what are we thinking for the start time? And Hannah responded and said, well, I'm going on a very long rant about Stalin, so it'll probably be about another hour. And then we were like, how does that relate to a happy animal story?
Did I disappoint?
No.
No, I had to get through some Polish military history really quick.
Yeah. It's fine. Have
Anyway.
you heard how much background I do? Like, this is nothing.
Oh, I know. Oh, believe me, I could have gone longer on that. I was like, keep it to 2 slides, keep it to 2 slides. We got to 3, but... well, I guess the third one was mostly about Wojtek. Anyway, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, trust me, I was very... And I tried to make it not, jargon heavy. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We're done with the episode.
Yep.
That's... What do we say? Oh, so we have no ending. Long live the Emperor and Wojtek.
And Wojtek.
The goodest boy.
Yeah.
Okay, goodbye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Friend shape. Thanks for listening to The Triad. Our music is by Scott Buckley. Our audio is recorded by our sound engineers, Craig Bott and Audrey Credo.
If you like the show, please rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can also follow us on social media. We're on Instagram, YouTube, and Tumblr as The Triad Podcast.
We're also on Patreon as The Triad. Currently, all Patreon funds will go towards the cost of hosting the show. Each tier has its own rewards, but every patron receives our undying gratitude. Do you have comments, questions, or stories? Email us at thetriadpod@gmail.com. And thank you again for listening to The Triad, where we're spooky, but sensitive.